Hey everybody, welcome back to the Overwatch channel on YouTube, also at overwatchproject.com. If people really understood at least the core truth about our reality, about our consciousness, which is at least one thing that's knowable when you look at all the data and evidence, you can at least know the core of it, the kernel of it. And then from there we can theorize and argue about the rest, but people can't even agree about the basics. Some people live in incredibly oppressive, tyrannical places in this world where they're in just constant suffering, and they have no ability to even think about this stuff. Others live with the illusion of freedom, and some of us have gone outside the matrix, the box that they want you to think in, and we can see things a little bit more clearly. I mean, that's why I named my project the Overwatch Project. The Overwatch position is the best position to be in to see. You're seeing things as an outsider, and the core of consciousness, to understand that's what really is behind all this. And you have what appears to be that this reality is an incredibly well made, really well designed prison system or farm system, or something that we foolishly incarnated into as conscious beings, possibly because we've been duped over and over again with this karma deal or some other soul contract or something, or maybe some of us here for the first time. Who knows? Consciousness affects the material world. And scientists know this in quantum mechanics. Magicians know this with magic with a K at the end. People that pray and have had their prayers answered know this. Same thing. People that don't even know that it's going on around them because they're so ignorant, because they've ignored data, because they ignore information, because they ignore knowledge that's readily available today, but they choose to ignore it, have had synchronicities and things happen all around them, and they don't even understand or think anything more of it than it's a coincidence. At the core, we know consciousness can affect random number generators. We know that random number generators react before certain high-intensity global events happen. We know that Dean Radin's done a lot of experiments, noetic sciences. You can look this stuff up. Everything that you see here, I'll link below. Every link is interesting, and you should check it out. So, what is going on in the material world is something I really don't talk about much on my channel, because I'm more interested in understanding at least the core of our reality. But when I see it bleed over so much, I have to comment on it. So in the political world now, there's like this upheaval going on, and they have polarized people. The people that are at the top. The people at the top, in case you haven't figured out, actually do use dark occult meaning hidden knowledge, to try to maintain their control over the rest of the masses and to keep the masses constantly fighting. And if there are things like archons and a demiurge out there, or perhaps if there is truth to the whole louche concept, or whatever energy we're emitting for some spiritual parasites to feed off of, they're perfectly happy with this, because the more conflict, the more louche. So they leave things alone, and there's a balance. The prison has a balance. The prison may have no walls. It's possible that the only thing it takes to get out of here is knowledge. not being ignorant to what's going on. So when your body and brain finally shut down and your consciousness is still there and it still has some of the human ego attached to it, the ego is so weakened by you because you have become aware and informed that you can no longer be kept prisoner here. And maybe those are those last timers that people like Robert Monroe saw getting ready to leave this place once and for all. Because there's probably an infinite number of realms out there, far better than this one to go to and be conscious in. But here, people fail to understand the simple rules of the prison of the game. There are rules. The elite know the rules. I shouldn't call them the elite. The oppressors at the top know these rules really well. And they're no longer really occult rules because the information is out there on the internet for anybody that wants to know all the mystery schools, all the truth behind all this, why prayers get answered, why spells work. It's all the same thing. It's all about consciousness, projecting intentions, and the universe, the material world, time-space illusion reacts to consciousness. So whether you're throwing hate at a jar of rice or throwing love to another jar of rice, and the hate jar gets moldy and black, and the love jar of rice maintains its whiteness longer, the rice is inconsequential. It's going to rot anyway. So that energy is just going to go to the rice. However, when you're involving other humans, you're dealing with a conscious paradigm there that's far more complex, and there's a balance. The oppressors at the top have polarized people, and they've done such a good job of it that people can't even think or critically analyze what's going on around them. The ones that are totally ignorant, and you see them on when they lose in politics, in the illusion of freedom that we have here, when the one side loses, depending on which side you're on, it can be extreme hatred, rage, and negativity. And you see that on the left side now of the polarized sides here in America. And they're really going out of their minds. But what I've been noticing, because a lot of their rage is not well founded. They're all lied to. Both sides are lied to. But when what they believe is going to happen is not really what's going to happen, that energy has no target. It doesn't go anywhere. It can't really hurt the people that they are throwing it at because their intentions are not founded correctly because they don't have a good perception of reality. So what happens with conscious energy is it unleashed in the real world. And see, it's not like it's magic with a K and you have to be in some fucking robe or something with a candle or, This stuff happens all around us all the time. The atheist will see this stuff and call it a coincidence. The Christian will see it as an act of God. The magician will see it as synchronicities because they understand how the system works even more. But when you have polarized people to such an extreme that they're now, now they're actually going to call it what it is. They're going to try to a spell to bind Donald Trump and all those who abet him. This is really interesting because these witches, I don't have anything against any of these belief systems because they're all, missing part of the puzzle. Basically, witchcraft is simply another form of projecting consciousness to affect your reality. It's what it really all boils down to. And the reality here is like a game with boundaries, and if you know how to play the game better, you can get some results, but it's all still a trap, okay? But you can play the game if you want. So, what is interesting is you've already seen this binding stuff. They've been doing it all the time for like a month now. And what's happening is that it's been rebounding back to them because some of it is completely unfounded. So they attack like Ivanka Trump and her, they get her merchandise pulled from stores, and they throw all this hate energy at her, which is the same thing as like these what witches would call a binding spell. They throw all this stuff to try to suppress her, to try to contain her, except she's not doing anything. She's not even the president of the United States. So what happens? Her merchandise goes to #1 on Amazon. They're outselling everything. A singer shows up to an award ceremony. She dares to wear a Trump dress and says, I think you people are, some of you people are crazy or whatever. They throw this hate at her, and her record sales skyrocket. Now, some people don't realize that they've been manipulated by oppressive, tyrannical forces at the top of our material world. Some people don't understand that the true magicians are actually dark sorcerers that have been manipulating the world for thousands of years. They just don't understand that. And they think that they are free spirits. They think that they are free and that they know what's going on. So what happens when you cast a binding spell and you're misinformed or have a wrong belief about what's going on around you? Well, right here, it tells you about binding spells. Binding spells are used to bind or hold things. The usual reason for this is to bind a person or spirit to prevent it from doing damage to yourself, someone else, or itself. Care must be taken when binding spirits, since they will almost always bind the caster, and you must have a plan for it after it is bound. However, if you are skilled enough to cast a binding spell, you will be skilled enough to handle any bound spirits. Now, this is all mystical stuff, but at its core, below the mysticism, is simple understanding of the nature of consciousness. And they're correct. If the reality is the material world has this balancing mechanism because it has to maintain duality. It has to maintain a certain level of polarization. It has to keep the conflict going, because if the conflict stops, or if enough people wake up, the prison system falls apart. Or if it goes to the other side too far, it can't operate correctly. You can't have complete tyranny and oppression. The sorcerers or the elites, the so-called elites that rule the world in the dark shadows, the Pizzagate people, the Podestas, these dark occultists, this stuff here. You can just search YouTube De-Occulting of John Podesta and watch some of these videos, or you can watch this 14-minute clip from the Architects of Control, which really kind of explains a lot of it, from Michael Tessarin. But reality is that what happens is that they've sort of lost control of one of the polarized side. That polarized side on the left in America is casting so much negativity, so much hatred and rage that, and they can't even talk to these people. If you watch some of the news clips where people try to talk to them, they can't even be talked to. And some of the things they say don't even make any sense. But the thing is that because if what they're perceiving isn't true or isn't aligned with the balance of the prison system here, that energy has to go somewhere. That conscious energy cannot just it completes sort of like a circuit. It comes right back to them. That's why everything seems to be backfiring. They don't see it. So what will happen here? These people are going to cast their negativity out, but perhaps the balance of reality won't allow Donald Trump to be bound. This will make him more effective at what he needs to do, and it will simply bind the people that are trying to bind him. I know this is sort of like blending of like mystery school stuff with what I normally do here on my channel. I hope you understand what I'm saying. There's all the pomp and circumstance that goes into this stuff, whether or not you're in deep prayer in a church, or whether or not you had your altar casting a spell. That is all so your conscious mind can interface with your subconscious mind and create a more effective interface to affect the material world. It's really, I'm sort of using sort of like a semi sort of actual scientific way of looking at it. I mean, like more like what Rupert Sheldrake or Dean Radin would talk about. But I think this is consistent with reality. If you think about it, there are experiments out there that shows you that conscious intention, observation, measurement affects the real world. But the real world, if you take a look at the totality of data out there about our consciousness, about what people have reported from near-death experiences, see, if I could just tell you this, information is available all over the place. The problem is that a lot of times it comes with a point of view, an interpretation, a belief attached to it. Okay? You get a bundle of data from books, from people talking, from documentaries, and it comes with all their stuff attached to the information. Now, information can be incomplete. People can give you information and they've left stuff out because what they don't want to tell you is the stuff that violates their personal points of view. My whole objective here from the Overwatch philosophy is don't ignore any data. Don't leave stuff out to try to make something fit an interpretation. Instead, interpret things by the total amount of information that you can collect. So, I collect information from all sorts of sources. I've become comfortable listening to people that I think have information in there, but have buried it so much in idiotic belief systems that the information is really obscured, but it's still there. You just have to peel away their points of view, peel away people's perspectives or what they're trying to make you believe, and just collect data, pure data. When you put that together from all these different sources, you can kind of see more clearly what's going on. It doesn't mean I know everything. It doesn't mean that I won't change my mind a month from now if I collect data that shows me something entirely different. It doesn't mean that I'm not being ignorant about something also that I don't even know about yet. Okay, I'm always aware that I must have some bias, some cognitive issue still bleeding through. You can never shut these things down. They're designed to keep you ignorant. But if you're aware of it, if you're constantly battling it, if you're embracing information without being so fake skeptical, if you just take it all in, you can kind of see what's more clearly going on here. Okay, consciousness is the key. Understanding that is the key to understanding what the hell we're doing here, where we came from, and where we're going. So, this isn't really a video about politics. I don't want you to think that this is a video about our politics, because our politics is about control. It's always still about control. And, well, that's it. Also, my website, I have updated some stuff. I've reorganized my links page, made it much better. I put everything in alphabetical order. And I'm working on this page here, Mindfuel, which is mostly books. I've got some top books on top, but I'm starting to make another list underneath A to Z by title. And it's nowhere near as done, but these are books I've either read or read through. Some of them are read in depth. Some of them I've just perused through and collected information. But a lot of them are really good, and I don't really get anything. I'm not on any affiliate program anymore. I'm just offering them out there. You can go get them at a bookstore or wherever you buy books at. I don't care if you're interested. And check out these links. I'll put all this stuff in the description section below. I haven't done anything with Spreaker for our podcast yet. I'm not sure what to do with that yet, or if I should even do it. That's it. I hope that you see what I'm getting at here. The people are manipulated on both sides, and they don't really understand. And this isn't what the elites want, by the way. The oppressive elites, the tyrannical elites at the top, the sorcerers, the dark occultists at the top. They don't want this. This has thrown their polarization out of whack, I believe. And I don't think they've dumbed down the masses to such a point now that they really kind of have sort of damaged themselves in some ways. But only time will tell with that, what's to come here in the material world. Thanks for watching. I'll talk to you guys later. Bye.